Shazam! Fury of the Gods. This is my review. Did I love it? Did I hate it? Who knows? We'll see. We'll find out. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to do a review of Shazam! Fury of the Gods, which I saw yesterday. I normally don't love going to the Regal Cinemas on 42nd Street just because that area is just like insane. But we went because I had to go to work afterwards and it was closer to my job. I really loved the first film so much. I love how it dealt with the foster system, which I know isn't always perfect and there are a lot of problems with it, but I loved seeing a family of foster kids being represented in this film. I'm adopted and I think it's a really important thing that should be discussed in more mainstream because there are a lot of kids that need homes and a lot of babies as well, and it's nice to see it in a mainstream film. And the family's adorable, and it's really I love how they all have their different quirky personalities and they all support each other and they're always there for each other, and the foster parents are just so sweet and so kind, and I just love that. Shazam! Fury of the Gods, I had a blast. I know that there's a lot of people out there that don't like this movie, and I really don't understand why it's getting so much hate. The biggest flaw of the film, in my opinion, is the Lucy Liu character. I really don't think it's even the writing's fault, because I just felt like she was way more terrifying in Kill Bill than she was in this, and I just didn't take her seriously. She did come off just like bitchy and not really like as a villain, so I really didn't care for her in this film. Helen Mirren was way scarier than Lucy Liu, for sure, and I know she's an incredible actress, and I know Lucy Liu has it in her as well, and I just think when you compared them side by side, because you have to, because they're literally together the whole movie, you know, it's really just hard to take Lucy Liu's character seriously. And I will say, as much as I didn't necessarily care for Lucy Liu as a villain, I still felt that like the high stakes were there, and I really think there was a really nice balance, pulling off so much comedy in such an amazing way while still keeping the darker tones. I have to give credit to David F. Sandberg, and I really think that like Marvel wishes they had you know, the capabilities to have as much humor as this film did, plus the seriousness. You know, I really think that Marvel wishes they had that in their back pocket, which they don't, and I feel like they haven't been really pulling that off well, because when they get into things being too comedic, it really comes off as stupid, whereas in the Shazam franchise, it doesn't at all, and the comedy really enhances the experience. You know, they're kids at the end of the day, and I think that that's why like the humor also worked really well. I loved the secret lair they had. Like, it was totally like what a kid would want their, you know, Batcave to be. So many little things about this movie that I think they really nailed, and I don't understand the hate. Like, I know I said this earlier, but I don't understand so much hate for this movie. Is it perfect? No, but like, you're gonna have a really great time if you liked the first one. The future of the DCEU is like so up in the air at this moment in time, and you know, I want James Gunn to know that people do love the Shazam family, and I really love the Shazam family, and I would put them up there now in like one of my favorites of all time of comic book characters.
Introducing the star of our show, his name is Shazam!
I love at the end of the day, like, Billy got chosen, like, not because he was the smartest or the most powerful, but because he was the kindest and was pure of heart. You know, like, what he went through in his character arc in the first movie, I just love. And I you know, I would have liked to have seen more of the kid version of Billy. He and Zachary Levi, you know, there was a little bit of disconnect, believability there that kid was Zachary Levi as a child, which I understand that, I do, but I think he was a lot better this time in this movie. I will say there is absolutely no disconnect with Jack Dylan Grazer and Adam Brody's characters. Like, you 100% are like, oh my god, that's little Adam Brody, and it works out so well, and he has such a pivotal role in this movie, and I really think he did a great job. To me, he was a lot more of the main character than even Shazam at times. One of the other things I loved was Jimon Hansu was just fantastic in this as the wizard. I mean, they gave him so much more to do this time, I feel like, or maybe they just gave him like a little bit more humor, but like he nailed it, and your heart just like melts every time he's on screen if he smiles, because he's so serious all the time. So yeah, I loved what they did with his character for sure, and he was fantastic. I really, I as much as I want this movie to do well in theaters, I know it didn't have a great opening box office, and then it's not going to get better with John Wick opening next weekend. But I just really want people to go into this movie with an open mind, and again, you don't just don't nitpick it apart. I really think it's a fun movie. I think it really does genuinely have a lot of heart, and I really appreciated that, because that's not normal for superhero movies. Everything now is like, and I love the darker superhero movies. Believe me, I love those. I think you can have both superhero movies be dark, and then you can also have ones that are on the lighter side. And don't get me wrong either. There were definitely some surprises in this movie where I was like, oh my God, that was really dark. I can't believe they just did that. Be open-minded when you see this. I guess you don't have to rush to the theater to see this, and just wait till it comes streaming. But I would say, if you are trying to see, another film upcoming soon besides John Wick, I know everyone's going to see that. I will be too. But if you're looking to see something else as well that, to lighten the mood a bit, I highly, highly recommend it. And I really hope that James Gunn dismisses the negativity just pouring out about this movie, because I really don't understand it. I have seen a couple of reviews that agree with my perspective, and they said they had a great time in the movie theater. Stop criticizing this movie to death, because it's not bad. I don't understand why people think it's bad. If you've seen it, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know your thoughts. Maybe I'm delusional, but that was one of the best times I've had in the theater in a really long time. Not a spoiler alert, because some of you might not even know what he looks like, but you can see a really short cameo by David F. Sandberg, and that was really fun. The one moment I think a lot of people are talking about is the product placement of Skittles and what they did with that. Some people hate that whole thing that happens. I personally thought it was hilarious, and I loved it, and I was clearly not taking itself seriously. Obviously the audience isn't thinking oh, we're gonna sneak in a product placement for Skittles by doing it like this. It was so over the top, which is why I think it worked. To a T. You almost think you're watching a Skittles commercial, and I loved that. I think it's let's have some fun, let's lighten up. The world's insane right now, so let's not take everything so seriously. And yes, I want my Batman to be brooding all the time, but do I need Shazam to do that? No. And they do still at the same time touch upon very serious subject matters. His whole upbringing in the first one, which you saw, that's a really serious background story for a superhero to have. And I think that the fact that he's not dwelling upon it all the time, and he has found support, maybe he's mentally more stable than Bruce Wayne is at this point, because Bruce Wayne has no friends. Maybe you guys completely will disagree with me, but I really think that this movie deserves a chance, and Shazam and the Shazam family deserve a spot in the future of the DC. They really do. And I really hope this isn't the end of that, because just by going off of box office numbers, and again, people being so overly critical of this movie for no reason, I really hope that doesn't sway James Gunn moving forward. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this movie. Are you going to see it? Have you seen it? Are you going to wait for it streaming? Do you have no desire at all to see it? I would love to hear you guys chime in on this one. So that's my review. That's my thoughts on Shazam! Fury of the Gods. I really liked it. I don't know. Maybe I'm in the minority at this point, but I really don't understand the hate. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and thanks for stopping by.